The MOPAR Parts Nationals on Thunder Mountain near Denver, Colorado, mark the midway point in the Pro Stock bike season. So let's quickly bring you up to date. It began at the Slick 50 Nationals in Houston. To no one's surprise, Dave Schultz, his Sunoco Suzuki, was in the final round. To a lot of people's surprise, Dave McClellan, Michael Phillips was alongside him.
Phillips riding the Bell Additives motorcycle owned by Harry Lartigue, possibly put an exclamation point on this season by giving everybody a glimpse of things to come as it related to David Schultz. It was Phillips winning his first and only national event title, a 763. Phillips jumping for joy.
A happy guy who was later to lose his ride. Moving on, Gainesville, race number 2 for the bikes. John Myers, Star Racing out of Americus, Georgia, in the final round against Dave Schultz. Was Schultz going to dominate again? I mean, he made the final in Houston, even though he got beat. Here he was in yet another final round. No! David Schultz, too aggressive off the starting line. He red lights. John Myers takes the money.
At Englishtown, a rematch. Myers and Schultz. A bit of redemption on the part of Schultz. 769 and 168, winning over John Myers.
Don't get too used to it, David. The Virginia is for Lovers Nationals, semifinals. John Smith against Dave Schultz, but that's not the story. The story will come 1,320 feet away when David Schultz, in defeating Smith, sets the national record for speed, 182.14 miles per hour on a Pro Stock motorcycle. Incredible. The final round, though, Stevie Johnson was up against Schultz.
Steve Johnson, now a teammate of John Myers, psyching himself up. He almost pulled it off, but it was Schultz, 759 at 180, taking the win. Schultz, though, did not have the dominance that everybody expected at the start of this season. Here in round number 2 at Columbus, he was against Russ Olmstead.
Olmstead in the near lane. Dave Schultz, far side, defending Winston champion. It was Olmstead. 781, 168 miles an hour, but a huge reaction time, 412.
Final round, John Myers, the Star Racing Wax Shop Suzuki against Russ Olmstead. The win to Myers, 770 at 175 miles an hour, and that now takes us to Denver, Colorado in the MOPAR Parts Mile High Nationals.
David, I think you gave it its nickname of Thunder Mountain, but there's no facility quite like it. John Vander and his family have built, well, just a drag racing paradise. In the final round, it was Olmstead versus Myers again. And again, it was John Myers in the thin air at 801 at 165 as George Bryce, the team owner, again tries to walk on his hands.
So at basically the halfway point in the Pro Stock motorcycle season, Schultz led Myers, followed by Phillips, Johnson, and John Smith.
If Myers could win this, he could take the points lead from David Schultz. Myers, the Snap-on Suzuki out of Star Racing, Americus, Georgia. Identical reaction times for both riders. But at the far end, it was the big George Bryce horsepower that just eked it out at 763, 174 miles an hour. They now have the points lead, and we're loving it. Jackie Bryce getting hoisted into the air.
Myers, Schultz, Phillips, Smith, and Johnson. That was the top 5 after Brainerd. We moved on from there to the Wax Shop Finals, a race within a race, if you will, at Indianapolis, with the big bucks posted for the quickest qualified motorcycles after a season of racing. And the two protagonists throughout this entire season met in the final round. David Schultz was in the far lane, John Myers in the near lane, and once again, Myers was the winner, 756 at 175 miles an hour.
And again, David Schultz has never won the Wax Shop Dash, virtually an annuity for that guy, John Myers. But come Monday of Labor Day weekend, when the Pro Stock motorcycle final rolled to the starting line, neither Dave Schultz or John Myers were anywhere to be found, Matt.
No, they were looking on as we all were live on TNN to watch Rick Ward and John Smith do battle. And for the first time in his career, Rick Ward won a national event, and it was the biggest of them all, a 767.
It's going to take a long time to sink in. We're just glad we could do it today with our sponsors here. That's the bottom line.
We're very happy for you.
Thank you.
Okay, semifinal time at the Pioneer Keystone Nationals in Reading, Pennsylvania for the pro stock motorcycles. It was John Myers over in the far lane, and we show you this for a very good reason. Full gas near side, that isn't the reason. John Myers tucked low behind that fairing, a brand new national lapse time record of 7:46 for John.
7.46 that time.
46.
That was our friend Alan Reinhardt, Mike's side at the other end, laying away John Myers.
I think John's reaction told the story there. This was the final round in Reading. It was the teammates Steve Johnson and John Myers doing battle. And this time Myers won it, but not quite as quick. 7:51 at 177, and if you'll note, the crew didn't jump up and down quite as much as they did in the previous round.
Okay, Topeka Pro Stock Bike semifinal. Myers and Schultz, and again, Dave Schultz, red light. That bike reacts so quick to his touch, he's just got to back it down in 96. Myers all but clinches the title, goes on to win the final round. One happy, happy guy. At Pomona, Steve Johnson was in the near lane, and he red lighted away his chances. He had to do something. John Myers had much the better motorcycle. Steve Johnson and Larry Dixon are roommates. Do you think they had a little fun this year?
Myers, the Winston champion. Take a look. See where your favorite finished in the 1995 Pro Stock Motorcycle standing.